Hey, what's up, killers? It is your Fauna Grandma coming at you from My Killer Podcast. Yes, I am back once again this week with another spooky video. And as promised, I am here to give you some Halloween movie watch recommendations. And like I said, we're doing things a little differently around here. Usually we talk about nostalgic things. We talk about old movies, cheesy horror, and things of the like. I don't know. Do we talk about that stuff? I don't know. I got labeled that, so I just kind of roll with it. But this time, I want to give you guys some modern day horror recommendations. Some modern day horror gems that I think you guys shouldn't miss out on because, frankly, some of them are pretty cool. So if that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you greatly. Like I said, we're going to be talking about some modern day movie gems that I don't want you guys to miss out on. I know we talk about a lot of old movies around here because that is just what I like to watch, honestly. Cheesy B horror movies are my jam, yo. But you know what? There are some modern day horror movies that are pretty good too, and I don't want you guys to miss out on some of these. Some of these have flown under the radar, and I am strictly, aside from one movie that I will explain, sticking to movies that came out in 2024, specifically this year, specifically movies up to October. I am going to be talking about some of these movies flew under the radar and haven't been talked about, and I want to highlight some of them because they were great, and I feel like they didn't get talked about enough, and I want to recommend some of them to you guys, and maybe, just maybe, you'll want to put them on your Halloween watch list. Now that's all the explaining I'm going to do about that shit. So let's dive right into the list. The first movie I want to talk about is Cobweb. Cobweb is a horror mystery from 2023. Now I realize I did just say that all of these movies are from 2024, but aside from one, this one is special. This movie is the reason why I thought of this list in the first place. This movie is the only one I'm going to have a diatribe about. The rest of them I'm just going to spew at you with some minor details. When this movie came out last year, I heard about it, and I specifically didn't watch it. I'm an asshole. I did not watch this movie. I heard it come out. I knew this much about it, but I just didn't give it any of my time. I had other movies I wanted to watch. It wasn't a heavy hitter. I didn't think it was worth my time. Unfortunately. So I made it a point to not watch it. And now I regret it. This movie came back around this year, and I heard a bunch of people talking about it. I heard several people talking about it recently. And I'm like, why are so many people talking about this movie? And I'm sure it's because spooky season was coming, and they wanted to watch it again. Or wanted to watch it for the first time, or maybe they heard things about this movie and wanted to give it a go. So I thought, all right, fine. I'll give this movie its time of day. So we threw it in and I watched it. And Cobweb is great. And now I am kicking myself in the ass for not watching it last year. Because it has already dropped on physical. It had a groovy slipcover, I believe. So I feel like I missed out on it. I don't want that to happen again to me, and I don't want it to happen to you. So that is what inspired this list of modern day horror, I don't know, hidden gems of sorts that I want to recommend to you. This is weird. Anyway, so Cobweb is number 1 on my list. Cobweb is a horror mystery from 2023. It was written by Chris Thomas, Devlin, directed by Samuel Bowden, and it stars Lizzie Kaplan, Anthony Starr, and Cleopatra Coleman. An 8-year-old boy tries to investigate the mysterious knocking sounds that are coming from inside the walls of his house, unveiling a dark secret that his sinister parents have kept hidden from him. This movie is dark, suspenseful, and a whole lot scarier than I gave it credit for, to be honest with you. But do not sleep on this one. It is well-crafted film and has great performances and an eerie atmosphere. I regret bailing on this one, so don't make the same mistake that I did. So that is Cobweb for you. If you haven't seen it, please do check it out. Number 2 on the list, we're going to be talking about VHS Beyond. This one obviously came out this year. It is a horror and you can find it on Shudder. This one was written and directed by a plethora of people, so I will not go into the nitty-gritty details of all of the people. A couple of outstanding few are Kate Siegel and Justin Long, just to name a couple, and it stars a plethora of people as well. 6 blood-curdling tapes unleashed horror in a sci-fi inspired hellscape, pushing the boundaries of fear and suspense. The film is presented with 5 segments built around a framed narrative in the form of a documentary with interviews from experts in the field of extraterrestrials and digital effects. Talking about this one in particular, the very first segment of VHS Beyond is worth its weight in gold alone. This one was by far my favorite. The effects were amazing. It had very much a video game feel to it. It also had kind of a Demon Knight feel to it. I absolutely loved it. It had gore. It had all of the things. It felt very zombie-like, and it was fast and furious. That is VHS Beyond. Definitely check this one out. I feel like this one is by far my favorite of the VHS installments. Number 3 on the list, I want to talk about Daddy's Head. Daddy's Head is a horror from 2024 written by Benjamin Barfoot, and it was also directed by Benjamin Barfoot. It stars Rupert Turnbull, Julia Brown, and Charles Atkin. A boy and his widowed stepmother find themselves in fear for their lives after they are visited by an unexplainable creature which appears to mimic the boy's recently deceased father. This movie, the suspense is real. I loved this one. It is a slow burn, but the performances are great. And the cinematography is absolutely beautiful. There are specific set pieces in this movie that are absolutely gorgeous. And there is a said creature in this movie that haunts my dreams. I definitely recommend checking this one out. It did leave me thinking about it for a time after. Number 4 on the list is Sting, and this one is definitely the thing of my nightmares, because I hate bugs. Sting is a horror thriller of 2024, written by Kai Roche Turner, also directed by Kai Roche Turner, stars Noni Hazelhurst, Jermaine Fowler, and Alila Brown. After raising a mysterious spider in secret, 12-year-old Charlotte must face the facts about her pet and fight for her family's survival when the once charming creature rapidly transforms into a giant flesh-eating monster. That is horrifying enough for me. Hate spiders. Arachnophobia was like one of the scariest movies of all time. This one was disgusting. All right, number 5 is The Demon Disorder. This one is right up your alley if you are a gore hound or if you like body horror. I had to throw one of these on the list if you like that gruesome, gory, slimy stuff. The Demon Disorder is a horror from 2024. It was written by Stephen Boyle and Toby Osborne. It was also directed by Stephen Boyle and stars Charles Cottier, Dirk Hunter, and Amy Ingram. The pasts of three brothers and their deceased father collide when a deep, dark family secret is unearthed, leading to the case of revenge from beyond the grave. This one is just an oopy-goopy, gross, disgusting mess, but it has some really fun practical effects in it and some really gross body horror. So if you are into that, definitely check this one out. Number 6 on the list is What's Inside. This one can be found on Netflix. This one's kind of just a fun psychological thriller if I had to give it a subgenre of sorts. What's Inside is a horror sci-fi from 2024 written by Greg Jardin, also directed by Greg Jardin, starring Brittany O'Grady, James Morosini, and Gavin Leatherwood. A group of friends gather for a pre-wedding party that descends into an existential nightmare when an estranged friend arrives with a mysterious game that awakens long-hidden secrets and desires and grudges. This one's super fun because it's kind of like a mystery whodunit in a way. It kind of leaves you puzzled. You have to kind of try and figure out what's going on throughout the movie. It's fun, but it's also kind of campy. I definitely recommend this one. It's lighthearted and it doesn't really take itself too seriously. If you're into that kind of thing, definitely give this one a go. Now, when we're talking about campy and fun and not taking itself too seriously, this next one is definitely for you. So number 7 is Carved. You can find this one on Hulu. It is definitely a horror comedy about a killer pumpkin. Carved is a horror comedy from 2024. It was written by Justin Harding and Cheryl Meyer. It was directed by Justin Harding. It stars Elvis Nolasco, DJ Qualls, Chris Elliott. On Halloween, the staff of a historic Pioneer Village attraction must unite to survive the battle of a monstrous killer pumpkin set on revenge. This movie is chocked full of bad effects and cheesy dialogue, but it is full of gore, and the pumpkin monster is gruesome fun. I definitely recommend checking this one out. It definitely has bad digital effects in it, but it also has some really great practical effects in it. The monster is ridiculous, but it's fun. This is just one of those made for Halloween movies. They wanted to put it out to give us something to watch that was brand new for the season. It's just to have a good time. It's not one of those, this is going to be a movie for the ages. It's good, campy fun. Number 8 is Stream. I've actually heard a lot of people talking about this one, so I don't know how under the radar this one is flying, but I heard a lot of people talking about it, but then after all the talk was had, I didn't actually see anybody watch and review it. So this movie is chocked full of famous horror stars, and I did enjoy it. It's not the greatest movie of all time, but if you want to see some of your favorite horror icons from back in the day run around and do horror things, definitely give this one a go. Stream is a horror action from 2024. It was written by several people: Stephen Della Sala, Jason Levy, Michael Levy. It was directed by Michael Levy, and it stars Jeffrey Combs, Charles Edwin Powell, Daniel Harris, David Howard Thornton, Tim Curry, Tony Todd, Dee Wallace, Bill Moseley, Felissa Rose, and that is to name a mere few. The Keenan family's simple weekend getaway truly turns into a vacation to die for as 4 deranged killers playing a sadistic game lock down their hotel to compete for the most creative murders of all the guests. This one was a fast-paced movie. It had a lot of good kills in it. It had the gore. This one actually felt very Terrifier inspired. It had some synthy music in it. Some of the killers were definitely reminiscent of Art the Clown and some of their masks and movements and mannerisms and things. So this movie was definitely Terrifier inspired, I feel like, but it was fun. It was entertaining. I was not bored at all. I definitely recommend checking this one out. Number 9 is Oddity. This one was interesting to me because I just recently heard about this one and I decided to give it a go. I knew nothing about it whatsoever, and I ended up liking it quite a bit. Oddity is a horror thriller from 2024. It was written by Damian McCarthy, and it was directed by Damian McCarthy as well. It stars Carolyn Brecken, Johnny French, and Steve Wall. A psychic medium attempts to uncover the truth behind her sister's murder at the site of the crime. That synopsis doesn't really tell us a lot, but this movie is a slow burn. It has some really great set pieces in it. The cinematography is amazing, and it's a suspense thriller for sure. And one of the main movie props through this one is so horrifying looking. It was almost hard to watch just for that one item. That was almost scary enough for me, even if nothing else happened in this movie. Just every time that one thing, and I'll probably show an image of it. It's not a spoiler just because it's on the cover of the movie. It's in the trailer. It's like one of the main things, but it's terrifying, horrifying. I don't know. There's just something about it that's just unsettling, to say the least. But I definitely recommend checking this one out. Watch it at night. Watch it alone. Watch it whatever. It'll give you the creeps if that's what you're going for. And last but certainly not least is Bagman at number 10. This one also is kind of a slow burn. That's kind of the theme of a lot of these movies. It's just perfect for the Halloween season if you really want to get into that spooky mood. This one was a horror thriller. It was written by John Holm, directed by Colin McCarthy, stars Sam Claflin, Tonya Thomas, and Carell Vincent Roden. When a sinister threat from his childhood returns to haunt him, a father desperately struggles against his deepest inner fear. Only this time, the fight isn't for himself, it's for his family. This is one of those movies that has a really great spooky atmosphere. It has a great story. Like I said, it's a slow burn, so it's really suspenseful and really thrilling. So it's the perfect movie to watch at night. It's the perfect movie to get you in the Halloween spirit. So definitely check this one out if that's what you're going for. All right, guys, that is my list of 10 modern day horror gems that I don't think you guys want to miss. Talk about nostalgic movies around here a lot. It's very random and sporadic that we talk about these modern day horror movies, but these ones are really great. So don't skip them. Kill the comments below and let me know if you're going to watch any of these on Halloween night to get yourself in the spooky spirit. Let me know if you've actually seen any of these already. I loved all of these on this list. I'm not going to lie to you. I watched a lot of these indie horror movies to make this list. They were not all gems, okay? I know when you go out on a limb and you watch some of these movies that fly under the radar, you risk watching some real stinkers, okay? They were not all gems, but these ones were the ones that I picked out that I thought were. So, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Stay tuned for next week. Next week is Halloween. I am going to be dropping a Halloween specific video. We are going to be talking about werewolves coming off of our Rad Pack episode last weekend when we did our Versus episode doing American Werewolf in Paris versus Cursed. It was super fun. I will link it below if you guys want to check it out. I decided to do a video talking about werewolves for Halloween. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. And it's going to be super fun. It's going to be super fun. Okay? All right. All right. Until the next time we gather. Have a killer day.